And we're live. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Stefan, and we're back with another episode of Show and Tell, an unedited, unscripted edition where we talk about what we did in the last week's sprint. This week, we're doing a really quick episode under 10 minutes where we show you guys the 3 biggest features we did in the last week. If we did the whole change along, we would probably be here for a couple hours because we're cranking. So for the first one we have is the mocking library by Dustin. The second one, the Expo Integration by Ilko. And the third one, the demo organization by Nathan. So let's get right into it. Dustin, go ahead with the mocking library. Give it a sec for it to render nicely. Okay, you're good to go.
Unmute if you talk.
Oh, yeah, you see. Okay. In the past, we have developed a new mocking library that is fully integrated in the auto-generated testing library of WunderGraph. So I would like to present 2 common use cases. The first one is to mock a data source. That means an upstream, an integrated API of WunderGraph. Here you can see we have integrated in the countries API, and we pass the country's URL as an environment variable. So in our testing library, in, for example, Jest, we can import the test server and the helper function create test and mock server, create the servers before we run the tests. And of course, we want to mock the request to the upstream, to the countries API. You can easily doing it by ts.mockserver.mock. You can also specify if it is a persistent mock, that means it will be able to mock more than one request, or maybe you want to mock it multiple times too. By default, it's 1. So, and here you can check you have a predicate on to check if this mock should be matched, and in the handler you return the mock response. And yeah, so you can also use very easily your expect from your testing library, and yeah, use already included auto-generated client to make a request against your Wunder node. This will start a mock server under the hood, and you can write tests in that way. So let me run it. It will rebuild your WunderGraph configuration, start the WunderGraph node, start the mock server, and you make a request against the Wunder node, and we return the mock. And let's make it a mismatch, a failure. Let's say the country code is BE. Run the test, and it should fail, and it should tell you what's wrong, what has to be changed in order to fix the test. Okay.
Are you actually matching on the code response?
Oh, this was a mistake. No. Demo time, right? DE here, I forgot, that's the wrong place. To be on expect searching.
Unedited, unscripted edition.
As always. Yeah, should fail. You see what was expected, what was received, and if you fix it, it's green again. So that was a very easy example how to mock an upstream from WunderGraph. You can use whatever HTTP data source you want. Currently only GraphQL and REST is supported. The other use case is to mock an external API call, for example, inside your TypeScript operations. So if you, for example, have a search operation and you make a request against Elasticsearch, or in that case, OpenSearch, you don't want to bootstrap every time an OpenSearch instance. So you can mock HTTP request to any data source you want, in the same way I demonstrated it with data source. So the only thing you need to consider is that you're always working with environment variables, because if you start the mock server, you can pass here or configure here what environment variables we want to override with the mock server URL. So inside this search operation, we use the OS node URL to point to the right node in production, and in development, we will point to the mock server. So in that case, we can intercept that request and return our own mock in the tests. Very similar as before. Only difference is OS node URL, and it should also work. And it worked. Start mock and external API mock data source. Yes.
Very cool. And so we've received some really good feedback from our enterprise users. This is available now. You guys can test it out. And Dustin also wrote a really good blog post called "Why." What was the title for the blog post? Do you even test? So do you even test? You guys can check it out on our blog now. So next up, we got Ioko with the Expo Integration. Let's go. I heard you had some trouble with this one, Ioko.
Well, yeah, it's a bit of a pain to get Expo running in the monorepo, but we figured it out. So yeah, a couple of months ago we released an Expo example, but you had to configure some polyfills because React Native doesn't support a few things that we use in the client and in the SDK. But we will release today or tomorrow, I think, the WunderGraph Metro config package that will handle everything for you. So it sets up your React Native or Expo project for you. And yeah, so the only thing you have to do is install this package and then wrap your inside Metro config, yes, wrap your config with WG Metro config, and everything magically works. That's it.
Very cool. So as Ioko said, we'll be releasing this today or tomorrow, so you guys can try it out. And the last one that we have today is the demo organization by Nithin. Go ahead, Nithin. Let me add you. Give it a sec for it to render, and you're good to go. You're muted, by the way.
Of course. Okay. From the start. So once you log on to cloud, if you are an existing user or a new user, you'll be able to see a notification at the bottom telling that we have a live demo. And if you launch it, you'll be able to see 2 already deployed projects. One of it already has traffic and the other one doesn't. But yeah, so one of them is, so this entire organization is just for demo purposes, which also means that you cannot edit or change anything, but you can always try it out live. And the repository is also open source, so you can contribute towards it. And let's just go over it. So the first project is a simple demo of integrations and yeah. So if you head over to settings, you can check that we have some environment variables set. We have Google as our auth provider, and we have NeonDB as our database. And if you head over to integrations, you can see that our front end is already deployed on Vercel, and we also have Neon integrated, which automatically sets all the environment variables that you need. And if you want to try out the live demo, you can always head over to speedtest.wundergraph.app to test out the first application. And yeah, and the second project in the demo organization showcases Apollo Federation. And yeah, and you can check out, we already have the servers deployed and ready. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Very cool. And we're just under the 10-minute mark. So for closing notes from me, last week we did an AMA with WunderGraph, and we plan on doing it bi-weekly, but we've been hearing from the community that they really like it. So we might plan on doing it weekly with me and Jens, as well as other people from the team. So let us know below in the comments if you guys would like to see that. And then regarding Show and Tell, we're going to continue doing it weekly, as well as releasing any new features that we show you guys on here. And you guys can check out the Expo integration, which is going live today or tomorrow. Jens, any final notes, or we're good to go?
No, I think that's it for the moment.
Well, that's it, guys. Under 10 minutes. So thank you guys again so much, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye, guys.